we present you the Mandy Rose controversy.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
Yeah, now so. Gotta do another video because I had to do extra. Yes.
What's going on, guys? JD from New York here, and today, another breaking news story. It seems like December is getting a little feisty, Jesse. We got another story, and if you guys are aware here, we got the AEW Dynamite layout and logo and everything because we're getting ready for tonight's Dynamite, but I needed to come on here and talk about this Mandy Rose situation, and I invited Jesse, who you guys will see later on the AEW Dynamite post show, like usual. Jesse, breaking news today that
this is
surprised everybody and
the
took everybody off guard. We got Mandy Rose released by WWE earlier this morning. And
this was before
I don't know if you guys
Dynamite.
watched NXT. I know I watched it.
This
Jesse
was before
doesn't
AEW Dynamite.
But Mandy Rose put over Roxanne Perez last night, and Roxanne Perez, after winning the pay-per-view deadline main event,
I'm supposed to do the goddamn
the Iron Survivor Challenge, became the number one contender for Mandy Rose in the NXT Women's Championship. And she beat Mandy Rose last night in a shocking victory. They sped up the original plan to get the title off of Mandy Rose. We come to find out today that Mandy Rose was released from WWE. I'm going to read you guys the full story here before we get into our opinion.
Especially on the 13th.
Apparently she was released, caught off guard
on the 14th,
by her WWE release.
To do a video.
And Brian Alvarez reported on his subscription feed on Twitter that she was caught off guard by the firing.
I didn't.
And it was noted in the reports that came out from Fightful and other sources that she was let go by the company because of adult photos
risque
that were posted
photos
online via a subscription website.
Risque
Alvarez noted
photos.
that he hasn't seen the photos. Yeah, right. Alvarez didn't see him, Jesse. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I didn't see him either, man.
No, he haven't.
Yeah, I'm sure
he haven't. You haven't seen him.
Alvarez noted that he hadn't seen the photos. Bullshit. But apparently they have been getting more risque, and WWE apparently wasn't cool with that, even though they knew about the site prior. The site in question is Mandy Rose ACS.com.
Oh.
Now, Alvarez stated that Mandy was fired over these photos, and he says this: she was fired over the photos. I think technically not OnlyFans. I think she has an OnlyFans too, if I'm not mistaken.
Fan time.
I haven't seen them, but they apparently have been getting more risque, and WWE wasn't cool with that, even though they knew about the site prior. Now, she was very much caught off guard by this firing earlier this morning. End quote. Rose was on a historic title run, whether you liked it or not. She held the NXT Women's Championship for 413 days before dropping it last night to Roxanne Perez on NXT television. She was the top female on the brand and much revitalized her career in NXT. The plan was that she was going to eventually drop the belt to Roxanne Perez, but not last night. They were probably saving it for their New Year's Evil show or somewhere down the line, potentially at their next pay-per-view, Vengeance Day. In an update that came out later in the afternoon, and this is where things get interesting, Fightful Select followed up by adding that WWE sources indicated that the company felt like the content that Mandy Rose was putting out on the internet was not appropriate for one or more of their partner relationships. You can take a guess at who that is. We don't really have concrete information on that. I seen through other outlets on Twitter that Mattel, which is a huge WWE partner, as you guys know, they make their action figures and everything toy-related. Mattel was the one that actually had a problem with Mandy Rose and then brought this to WWE's attention.
I read this
and
shit
that Rose, when she found out about this, did not seem interested in stopping the website or posting on the website. Rose reportedly had indicated to people in recent months that she did realize what she was doing could end up getting her in trouble with WWE management. This obviously all went through the IWC, and now people are calling for justice for Mandy Rose. We had people like Soraya speak up about this and said that she has full support from Mandy Rose. We have a couple of NWA ladies. One in particular here, Myra Diaz Gomez. She tweeted, honestly, justice for Mandy Rose. Everything is cool when others are profiting off of a woman's sexuality. The problem arises when women take control of their own sexuality. Then, of course, they must be burned at the stake. Shaza McKenzie, another independent female performer, said, I hope Mandy makes millions of dollars and does whatever the fuck she wants. Gabby Ortiz, who worked AEW Dark for a couple of months, she said that there just aren't enough words to describe how unjust and frustrating this is. All my love and support to Mandy Rose. And it seems like people now, Jesse, are choosing sides. Some people are on the WWE side of things, thinking that WWE and what they did was right, and they are now shaming Mandy Rose, and the others are actually sticking up for Mandy Rose in this particular situation. Before I give you the floor, Jesse, I actually don't really have all the information. There's just so much information coming out about this. It took everybody by surprise. But the first thing that I want to really focus in on is Mandy was given orders to take the site down. Now, I don't know who the fuck believes WWE didn't know about this shit. They absolutely 1,000% knew what Mandy Rose was doing.
So Michael
Mandy Rose took
it
it upon herself from what I read here and what I've gathered. Took it upon herself to get more risque. She knew the consequences, Jesse, about what was going on. But WWE knew exactly what was going on. She had the links in her social media profiles all over social media.
The links are there.
They had no problem with it being bikinis and, selling that toxic attraction character. Fine.
The links.
That's what we market you as. If you want to go do that on your own, fine. And with Triple H being a little bit more lenient, being the boss now, sites like OnlyFans really aren't accepted, but they aren't really frowned upon. Twitch, Cameo, all this stuff that Vince kind of, killed off is now being brought back as okay. So Mandy was doing this within the guidelines. She took it upon herself as an adult woman to go out there and be a little bit more risque, knowing the consequences. WWE knew about this. If Mandy was given warnings about the risque photos once, twice, 3 times, we don't know how many warnings, if she got a warning at all, and she went about and said, you know what, fuck off, I'm not going to close the site down because I'm making X amount of money, more money than you guys are paying me. And then Mattel gets involved and she still said no. WWE at one point here has no choice but to fire Mandy Rose because they're not going to risk a partnership like Mattel, which is a mega money deal for WWE. On the flip side, bro, I respect the fuck out of Mandy Rose, man, because this is not the same situation as Sasha and Naomi. They were doing things as far as on TV they didn't agree with and they walked out. But Jesus Christ, man, if Mandy Rose is sticking up for herself in this case like Sasha and Naomi were, completely different realms, man, I respect the fuck out of that, bro. So I don't know how you guys feel about this, but that's just my head-on view in regards to this, Jesse. What do you think about this?
Shit.
Yeah, I think this is an important moment for all the women and probably the men to an extent in WWE. But I want everyone out there to know something, that I took extreme measures in making sure that I was very informed of this story. All right. I left no stone unturned.
Yeah, sure thing, bro. Yeah, your investigative skills are so fucking good, man.
My commitment to the fans out there watching us right now is far beyond everything that's important in my life. I went way above and beyond, and I examined every last single photo and video, and I'm appalled. Man, let me tell you something, man. We don't know everything, all right? And most importantly, we have heard nothing from Mandy Rose herself.
No.
All right? And that's the important thing. But if what we heard is true, and she was giving warnings, and they had discussions with her, and she still chose to produce the content, doesn't sound like
Mandy still chose to do it.
Sounds to me like Mandy Rose quit. And it sounded like she had a decision on her table, choose her career path, and she did just that. I think Mandy Rose did what was best for Mandy Rose in this situation.
Yeah.
I think that the attention and spotlight this whole situation is getting is gonna help project her into the direction that she wants to go in for, as far as her career and her future goes. I sent this to you earlier. I mean, I think and this is not in a negative way, but I think Mandy Rose has hit her ceiling in all of WWE.
Now you say that, and I partially agree with you, because I don't know how far they could take this toxic attraction shtick with Mandy Rose. I do feel like you do. I feel like she has expended all of this gimmick in NXT. Now, granted, she could obviously prove us all wrong. We don't know if she still wants to do professional wrestling, if she wants to take on this same gimmick. We don't know if the toxic attraction brand and the group is going to live on after Mandy Rose. I mean, she made the whole fucking group. She was toxic attraction. Right. But, man, the career path that she was, man, I want to throw this out at you. I know you say that, but Mandy Rose is obviously one of the most beautiful women in all of pro wrestling, number one. She got over on the main roster, and they sexualized her from the beginning. Vince sexualized her right from the word go. The whole thing where she tried to get a little bit more serious and a little bit more in-ring savvy. She worked her ass off. She got over with that feud with Sonya Deville. I'm not sure if you remember. She was very good during those PC days. She got Otis over with the whole fucking romantic angle that they did. She was big into that, and it got Otis to whatever level he needed to ascend to. Then she goes to NXT because she wanted to work on her craft. She completely reinvented herself. She got over more than any other woman down there. She was the face of that division. She was the champion good enough to lead this division for 413 days. So no matter what she does in the pro wrestling realm, bro, she seems to, get over and be, successful. She seems to find success in pro wrestling. And I do think if she wants to continue the pro wrestling venture, and I'm not going to speculate where she's going to go. She could go wherever the fuck she wants and do whatever she wants. She doesn't necessarily need pro wrestling. Like you said, this is going to make her a bigger star. But I do think that the room for growth, bro, with Mandy is still on the climb. And wherever she goes, she's going to continue getting over because it just seems to follow her.
Yeah, I think her run in WWE is all but over. I think that she pretty much got as far as she can get on the main roster with her in-ring level. And again, this is not trying to slam Mandy Rose. I'm just trying to be realistic about this. You're not going to put Mandy Rose in a WrestleMania main event or with the Becky Lynch. No, something like that. That's not going to happen. I think the women's champion in NXT for the reign that she had with the gimmick that she had, her pinnacle. I think that was a fantastic spot for her. I think she killed it. From what I saw, I mean, I was not a frequent watcher of the show, but I did see highlights and follow the story for for what it was worth. Yeah, and I think she did fantastic. I think she killed it. Her losing that title is pretty much, that's the end of her run in NXT. What is left for her to do? She goes to the main roster, dude, and even under Triple H, there is no main event spot for her with those female wrestlers on that fucking brick. There is no Bianca Belair, Mandy Rose fucking feud. It just won't work. It does not equate to the main roster.
It just don't work.
That being said, yes, she could go to another promotion, but for me, from what I can tell from her, I mean, she has other ventures that she could pursue, Hollywood, modeling, things like that. It's more of her alley. It gives her a longer career and probably a more lucrative one, especially if she's getting paid what she's getting paid, her personal accounts with no kind of promotion from any kind of studio, nothing like that, just for her own doing. Yeah. She's already making more money than she's making in WWE. For me, it just sounds like the same kind of no-brainer of The Rock saying, okay, well, more wrestling where I take bumps every night of the week, or Hollywood where I make movies once in a blue moon and get paid 15 times that I was making doing wrestling.
Yeah.
So for me, this may be her chance. And maybe she saw that within herself because she could have easily pulled that content, canceled it, and just stuck to her WWE.
And like you said, bro, the simple fact that she did not want to, it does seem like on the surface level that she ended up quitting instead of WWE firing her. Now the thing is, with her quitting, we don't know if she was given a heads up before last night's NXT. This is just me speaking, out loud. We don't know if she knew this was coming. She was caught off guard, so probably not, according to reports. But I want to make sure you guys are aware that, whenever this news came upon Mandy and she found out that she was no longer going to be with the company, she did still go out there and put over Roxanne Perez. She could have said, fuck this shit. They could have, she could have dropped the title and said, fuck it, vacated the title. I don't want nothing to do with this shit. I'm leaving. Goodbye. I don't give a fuck about anybody or this company. She put over Roxanne Perez last night. And again, I find that to be unbelievably respectable because, she had the chance to say, fuck this shit. I'm not putting anybody over. I'm walking out. But she ended up putting the title on Roxanne and making her look good and setting her up for the future. So I want to make sure everybody's aware of that as well.
I agree. She did business. The rumor of she was blindsided about a whole ordeal. I don't think I believe that at all. I believe it means she knew what was going on and the development of it, what was coming, and per her decisions of not taking the content down or ceasing it in any way. I don't think she was blindsided about it. I think she made an executive decision for her career, continue and let WWE pull the trigger and let her go. Let her, because she can't quit. So fine, let me go. I truly believe, and again, this report is going out before we get any more details than what is given everyone. So my personal belief is that we're going to get more information, Mandy, soon. And I don't think she's going to be too upset about, she may be upset about it, but I think she kind of foresaw this and kind of was prepared for what's coming next for her future.
Yeah. Now, the discussion is, was it too stern? That was another discussion within the community. A lot of people thought it was too swift. That was my initial reaction before I got any more news on it. I mean, a firing with somebody that, has been so notable on one of their major brands as a world champion for 400 plus days. Was the punishment harsh? And I know a lot of people are thinking, how could they do this? WWE has sexualized women all over the place for years and years and years. People got to understand this is not a Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, Johnny Laurinaitis WWE anymore. This is a Triple H WWE. This is a WWE run by Stephanie McMahon now, who more than likely signed off on this release. Was this too harsh, Jesse? And do you believe that if Mattel or a WWE partner, because we don't know if it's Mattel or not, a WWE partner did not get involved, and WWE knew on the back end what Mandy Rose was doing, would it have gone to the lengths of getting rid of her completely, even with the nudes? Or would have WWE said, you know what, we're going to have to take the title off you, we'll suspend you without pay or whatever the case may be, and then clean up your act and, go about your thing online. But no nudes. Was it too harsh? And if a WWE partner didn't get involved, would we see a different outcome here?
So I think there's an entire situation to look at when it pertains to what happened as far as the release. And just for the record, I am one is
so trying to
hurt to see Mandy get let go. Same time I've dreamed of seeing the release.
Always dreamed of seeing a Mandy release.
A dreamer? Oh man.
I digress.
What are you dreaming about, Jesse?
I digress.
Why, Jesse?
So don't know the language that was put forth in front of her deal as it pertains to this sort of content. So like you said, it was mentioned by her before. So the same way we have the wellness policy, right?
Yeah.
So we know the wellness policy, if you violate it, you get this. I believe it's 30 days. And if you violate it again, I believe it's 60 and then mandatory rehab. All of the progression that's laid out, paper. Don't know the language says as far as these infractions per the WWE rule book.
Mm-hmm.
So don't know if it followed said progression or if it was jumped to and overreacted, too much. So they followed the progression and it led to where we are right now and she gets let go. If they did everything by the book per se, then, WWE didn't really do anything wrong here. Because they did everything by the book. Now, I see everyone talking about how one else was treated, everyone from, Jimmy Uso.
They mentioned everybody. Right? Matt Riddle's the latest. Who knows what narcotics he did or what type of drugs he did. That was his second violation. They could have easily fired him after the first one. But like you said, bro, there's protocol. The WWE, like you just stated, 30 days, 60 days, then termination. So they may be following the protocol with even him.
Yeah,
they may be. But again, at the same time, we do know they like to make exceptions for their favorites, Randy Orton. So now, if
it was Randy Orton too,
or Jimmy and Jey Uso, how many fucking lives they got, bro?
any NOIE. I mean, it feels like they may have followed the protocol, but at the same time, it feels like at the end of the day, it's their executive decision to make. Now, bring in the Mattel factor. Did Mattel or another sponsor get involved in this? So now they have to sit down and weigh, we paying Mandy Rose.
Yep.
What is Mandy Rose bringing us in? And is it worth keeping Mandy Rose and fighting with this sponsor over this debate, over this issue? Answer is probably no financially for them.
Yeah.
I mean, Mattel is a huge fucking issue, company involved with all of their marketing and things like that.
The toys.
The namesakes and the likeness of all the characters and all the toys, and Christmas season coming up, man. You don't want to lose anything like that right now. So risky, is it a battle worth fighting for Mandy Rose?
That's risky.
Financially, probably not. I mean, and to stake your flag in the ground and die on that hill with Mandy Rose.
And put my phone in my pocket.
Thing for a company to do. No. They jumped the gun and just discipline her, just because, they're in the midst of this Vince McMahon scandal.
Yeah.
Want to try to prove how they're changing their ways, and if she gets screwed in that way,
it's working.
And we'll find
it's still
out,
working.
And that would be pretty messed up. If she
last night it just won't even work, but now it's working. It's still working.
And I feel like this was a Mandy Rose stepping away and quitting, and she didn't give a shit if she got fired because she was going to keep going. I mean, and that's her choice. Before, man.
Good for her.
Because again, I think at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, this is going to be a fantastic turning point in her career.
Yeah, if she wants to stick with the pro wrestling, I think she's going to be a bigger star now wherever she lands next. Because of all of this. Do you think that there is going to be regret at the end of all of this after things simmer down? Do you think there's going to be regret on WWE's part letting her go? Or is there going to be regret on Mandy Rose's side for kind of not really toning it down a little bit and going all the way with it? Is there going to be any regret from both parties here?
I think so. So WWE is not going to fold. The women's division is not going to explode because Mandy Rose is no longer there. I mean, it's not to say that, it was useless. I'm just saying that you can easily go in another direction and pretend that this never happened, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
What they do. Mandy, on the other hand, how she comes out of this is up to Mandy. Maybe I'm way off for this. Maybe she's extremely hurt, don't know what to do, and she'll do everything she can to keep her job. So, think she was prepared for this. She knew it was coming. Said to herself, "What else am I going to do?" She goes back to the main roster. She's stuck in the mid card somewhere. She's not going to be in a women's main event match somewhere with any but Becky, with a Charlotte, Bianca, nothing like that. So, could have made an executive decision to say, I'm ready to move on with my career. I mean, clearly, if she's making this stuff, sitting at home making pictures, go take a bump. Why am I sitting there letting the woman jump off the top rope and land on me?
Yeah,
it's not worth it anymore at this point. I mean, it's a passion for what you do. I think she did what she did to the best of her abilities. I don't think she sucks, but I don't think she's a main event female talent. At least not in WWE. And unless they plan on giving her yet another gimmick change, not going to change right now.
Yeah.
She is a sex symbol. I mean, that's how they marketed her. And that's how she is proud of, the way she looks. And
she should be.
She should be. And she wanted to benefit from it financially. The second that people saw that she was benefiting from herself and her own looks, I mean, it became a problem.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude. It's a choice that she wanted to do, and
that discussion opens up a whole nother can of worms. I know. There are some people out there that kind of look down on the OnlyFans situation. The women using OnlyFans. I honestly think we're living in a day and age now where this thing is normalized. Yeah. I know some very good people that do OnlyFans, and I'm fucking proud that they have the courage, bro, to go out there and create that type of content, knowing what sickos and fucking degenerates, evil fucking people live out there, right? And they go ahead and do that because not only does it show that they are strong enough to deal with that type of shit, but, they are comfortable in their own skin to put themselves out there for so many people who are so judgmental about everything. That takes a lot of fucking strength, bro. And I think, honestly, we're living in a day and age where that shit has to stop. I was kind of iffy on the OnlyFans thing. I'm like, look at these people. They got nothing going on. But man, I changed my tune on that a long time ago to see, the content that is being created and the engagement and all this stuff and the money that they're making. Good for them. I love it. I think I'm happy for the people that I know that do that shit because they're living the life that they want. It's great.
It's providing something to a lot of people who are enjoying it.
Yes.
And it's adult content being sold to adults. I do not get the problem here. I understand WWE, publicly traded company.
Yeah.
I get all of that. But explain to me the difference in John Cena or whoever the fuck else while still employed with WWE now in producing an R-rated movie.
Why would they produce? Why would they produce blockers?
With you here, man. You might not believe me, but I actually saw the.
Why would they produce a movie?
Mandy Rose.
Yeah. Oh, so did I. I mean, after today, I'm like, what's so terrible?
I saw them over and over and over again.
Well, all joking aside, I saw them.
So,
it's
rated. It's rated. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's rated R at most.
Yeah.
It's softcore. It's rated R.
Yes. It's no more than you would see on Cinemax at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. Yes. It is R-rated content. You will see a nipple slip here or there. Nothing worse than a nip slip you've seen in a ring. It is her in a G-string. I mean, not too much more revealing than some of the fucking outfits she had to wear in the ring. It is scantily clad. I'm not sitting here saying it's all PG. I get it. It is adult content. It is sold to adults. It is not projected.
It's probably Mandy Rose wearing. It's probably Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose wearing a thong and all that.
I had a hard time finding
Mandy
myself.
Rose was wearing a thong and she started twerking.
My DMs come flooding with these fucking links.
I see a picture of it.
Bunch of fucking degenerates out there.
The point is, she's not doing.
I see one with her topless with no bra on.
These are not leaks of sex tapes. But this is not her, being DP'd by, 2 other guys in the company. She's not jizzing on the NXT belt.
No. I mean, what do you think her husband thinks about this, bro? Tino Sabatelli. He's like,
see all that jizzing going on. They're worse than the porn movie. What's the porn movie?
I mean,
if her husband doesn't have a problem with it, who the fuck are you to say you have a problem with it? Jesus fucking Christ, man. If that was my wife, bro, go ahead. I'll fucking film the goddamn thing. I don't give a shit.
No shit, man. But don't get me wrong. See the other side of it. I get it. Publicly traded company. You gotta sell merchandise to kids.
Yes.
Needs to be warming up fast.
But unfortunately, if you want to keep your stars and keep them continuing to be stars, you need to find a happy median in this.
Yeah.
Really, really do. Take Mandy Rose's fucking character off of the fucking toy shelves. Period. Fine. You want to get Sasha Banks or I'm sorry, you want to get Becky Lynch or Bianca Belair, toy figures.
I don't know if Roxanne Perez has a fucking toy. Just omit Mandy Rose's figure and put Roxanne Perez there.
That's it.
She's the perfect face for the division. Why not? So Mandy's not going to make any money off the Mattel side of things, right?
Yeah, she doesn't get that money. For fine, she's making her money somewhere else on OnlyFans or whatever the fuck else. But tell her, hey, and take down the content, or you would no longer get your publishing rights to the toy figures. Yeah, you're gonna take them down. Yeah, there are definitely ways to go about it. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it was so harsh that nobody even came to a fucking rational decision like that. No, it was just done in the spur of the moment. Yeah, and that's fair, and that would be fair. If you don't do this, we can't market you as this, so we take you off of this, and you lose X amount of money. There's no heat in here. Oh God. Right. No, but as an adult, you should be able to do what you want to legally within certain amounts of parameters and to a certain extent. And at the end of the day here, the stuff that Mandy Rose revealed could have easily been done in an R-rated movie, no different from any rated movie that were in plenty and that was plenty of stars were in come along in WWE. Just went to Lowe's and warmed up. I'm like, to be honest with you, man, like I told you before, I'm extremely shocked that Stephanie signed off on this termination. I'm surprised that no one came to an amicable agreement on how to rectify this. In this. Now, listen, I'll say this in closing. We had the fucking catastrophe of a news report yesterday that Vince McMahon was intending to come back to the company, knowing what he did and the fucking millions that he used as far as company money is concerned.
19.8 million or something along those lines. And the fucking sexual favors pawning off women to fucking John Laurinaitis and becoming a sexual deviant. He was a sexual deviant, sexual harassment, right? All this other shit, all this bad shit about Vince McMahon. If there is even a fucking thought about letting him back into the fucking company, knowing what is in his closet, and they let Mandy Rose go for this, bro, I think we're pretty comfortable knowing that Vince may not be on his way back, and we don't have to worry about that, seeing this situation.
The fact that it's even a possibility on the table says enough. I mean, it says enough. The fact that it's been going on for decades says enough.
Yeah.
And by the way, once again, rest in peace, Lee Massaro.
Which was not on the documentary last night on Vice. They completely missed that one. I don't know how the fuck they missed that one. The
documentary was an hour and a half long. And here's the scary part about it. I don't think it was something that like, oh, well, they forgot something. I think it's the fact of it's an hour and a half documentary and they still couldn't get to everything.
Bro, the 9 Lives of Vince McMahon, they should have fucking bumped that up by triple.
2. They can keep going. I'm waiting for part 2.
That's like 9 Lives cat food. Like 9 Lives cat food.
I mean, if you're not familiar with the details
9 Lives of Vince McMahon,
situation, take a minute and go look it up.
How many seasons we got of fucking Breaking Bad, bro? 6 seasons? I could watch 6 seasons of fucking somebody shitting on Vince McMahon.
Like Negan and Breaking. It's like Negan and Breaking Bad.
I mean, I'm looking at a lot of the stuff from the clips that they posted from that documentary and the segments that they had on TV from Vince. I'm sitting there like, oh, that's a shoot. To shoot,
yeah,
and that's another shoot. that's a shoot. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing new for us to see that old rich white guy is getting what he wants by throwing money around. Yeah. I mean, that's welcome to America, I guess. But you can't be a publicly traded company and treat your employees the polar opposite that you're going to treat the people in charge.
Yeah,
so that I can agree with.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's all we got for the Mandy Rose situation. I know news is going to continue to come out on this particular story. If it does, I will have another extra for you guys tomorrow, and then we'll work our way up to the podcast on Sunday Night Live. And it's just been a busy week with a lot going on. But tonight we'll be live for AEW Dynamite. We got another major story here. Mike Mansberry. He might not be a name familiar to you, but he is now the lead guy behind AEW's television production. Basically, he's AEW's Kevin Dunn. Jesse and I will talk about that as we have a lot to say on that story, and we will obviously cover everything that's happening on tonight's Dynamite. Winter is coming tonight live. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us right here on OTS. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. You guys can follow Jesse as well on Twitter, and hit that subscribe button down below.
I'm doing more research tonight for this.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, bro. Whatever you find, just make sure I'm in the loop, okay?
Just for the fans.
Yeah, just for the fans. Yeah. And hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell for notifications, guys. We'll see you tonight live after Dynamite right here on OTS.
Yep. That's it for the Mandy Rose controversy. All right, see y'all for the December 29th birthday celebrations of my Uncle Terrell Coleman, my cousin Chantel Alexander, and the late Chad Pimp C. Butler.